Picture yourself standing in front of 5 million people. You appear composed. The cameras are rolling, and you are reporting live on national television. Beneath that polished exterior, your body begins to rebel. Your heart rapidly accelerates. The periphery of your vision darkens and narrows, and a sudden suffocating tightness grips your chest. This is a biological hijack. Your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, reacts to the bright lights of a safe news studio as if you are facing an immediate threat to your survival. The man trying to breathe through this terror is Dan Harris, an ABC News correspondent experiencing a massive panic attack on live television. Despite his reputation for cold rationality, Harris suddenly realized his own nervous system had become completely unreadable to him. Up until that morning, his career looked like the peak of journalistic achievement. He spent his days jumping between international disaster zones, navigating political scandals, and filing reports under relentless deadlines. Modern professional culture thrives on this rhythm. We consistently reward people who work longer hours and sleep less, labeling chronic exhaustion as dedication. In his field, emotional suppression is a job requirement. You cannot stop to process the tragedy you witness. You project an air of objective calm and move to the next assignment. Projecting calm outward differs significantly from experiencing it inward. The human body does not register a professional smile as safety when the nervous system is running at maximum capacity. The widening gap between a composed exterior and biological exhaustion provides the space for chronic stress to build unnoticed. The human brain evolved to handle short bursts of intense fear. It is unequipped to live in a perpetual state of emergency. This graph charts stress habituation. As cortisol rises over months of pressure, the brain assumes this high-stress state is the permanent baseline. When that elevated state locks into place, your internal alarm breaks. You adapt to the overwhelm, completely unaware your tank is empty. You can function for years while this pressure accumulates silently. Then, the physical symptoms explode to the surface without warning, halting your ability to speak. The broadcast breakdown signaled a fire that had been smoldering in the foundation of his nervous system for a decade. Examining his mind after the event, Harris realized that the constant, judging voice of his internal narrator generated more pressure than any external deadline. High achievers often treat every anxious thought, like "I am failing," as an absolute command that must be followed. Driven by a reporter's need for verification, Harris approached meditation as a skeptic looking for a flaw in the story. This investigation led him to clinical researchers who were tracking the physical effects of mental training on the brain. These clinical researchers pointed him toward neuroplasticity. The adult brain is never fully set. It rewires its physical structure to strengthen whatever thoughts or behaviors you practice. Mindfulness utilizes this biological mechanism. It is a targeted workout that trains the brain to notice thoughts rather than being controlled by them. This leads to the core of the 10% happier philosophy. The goal is not to become a permanently serene person, but simply to suffer a little bit less. Real neurological change happens invisibly. It occurs in tiny, repetitive increments, far removed from the dramatic breakthroughs promised by typical self-help stories. In behavioral psychology, awareness precedes change. You cannot interrupt an anxious habit if you are unable to notice it happening in real time. Aiming for a modest 10% improvement removes the pressure of perfectionism. It makes mental resilience achievable for anyone who feels overwhelmed by the modern pace of life. You can train this resilience with a 1-minute habit. Sit for 60 seconds and focus on your breathing. When your mind wanders, bring it back. Catching the distraction is the actual exercise. You can also use a conscious pause. The next time you face criticism, take exactly 1 breath before you respond. That gap separates the stress trigger from your automatic reaction. During the workday, treat racing thoughts as temporary events passing through your mind, rather than emergencies that require an immediate solution. These brief daily practices demonstrate that you can manage modern pressure without quitting your career or abandoning your ambitions. Protecting your attention and practicing brief moments of stillness allows you to remain present in a high-pressure world.